welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, in fact, let me start again. I bought my first ever ColourPop products the other week and they finally arrived about a week ago, but I've just not had a chance to film yet. So I'll go through what I bought. So I bought, it's only a couple of products. So I bought the E2 blending brush, which everything's still in their wee like cellophane wrapper product thing because I haven't used them. I haven't even like opened the foundation that I bought. So I have the F15 face brush, which is like a nice flat foundation brush, which is unusual for me, and I'll explain that in the video. And then I also bought the No Filter Stix foundation. Now I bought this in the shade Fair 27N, so I am really hoping that that is my colour. However, this is the product that I will be reviewing today. So I'm just gonna load up what it says on ColourPop, and I really should have done this before I started to film. Let's see if I can find what it says in terms of like the coverage and the colour. So this is a neutral toned foundation. It's in the shade Fair 27N and it's got pink and yellow undertones, and it's for fair skin because I'm like really light. So I think there was one neutral tone slightly lighter than this one, but I decided to pick this one and I'm not sure why. But so it says, create a flawless face in seconds with this weightless, medium to but buildable coverage stick foundation. Blends seamlessly for a natural skin-like finish. And it also says it conceals, corrects and perfects for a flawless complexion in seconds. It's a medium to buildable coverage, instantly blurs pores, covers blemishes and blends effortlessly. Never cakey or drying, this stick glides on for the easiest application. Okay, now I don't know if you can see, but I have got a bit of breakout time here, and I also have a bit of texture on my nose, just a tiny wee bit since I've been exfoliating. And also, I don't really like applying my foundations with brushes, but I see that a lot of people do. However, I just haven't had any luck with them. So I bought this brush as well because it recommended me to use it, and I thought that I would give a brush another try. So for today I will be using this foundation, which I haven't opened, I haven't seen, I don't know what it looks like, so fingers crossed it's the right colour. And then I'll also be blending it out with this brush. I'll do a small patch somewhere on my face with my beauty sponge just to kind of see how it blends out with a sponge, since I normally use a sponge. And then I'm also going to see how it builds and then how it kind of fares when I put other products on top. Now, I use concealer to prime my lids, so don't worry, I've not got any foundation on whatsoever. I also don't use a primer, so I don't have a primer on. The only thing I've got on is like my face creams, my moisturisers, things like that, which I put on, I've got no idea, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago. So my face is still a little bit tacky from that. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and let's just jump right in. So the No Filter Stix foundation by ColourPop. So it comes like this. And I'm sorry if you can hear chatting, there's people chatting outside my window. So I'm just going to open it and that's what it looks like. So that's the colour. So I'm thinking this might be a bit dark, but we shall see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply it to my face and then blend it out, I think. That'll be better. Oh, that is a bit dark and it's also a bit orange. I don't know how well you can tell on camera, but I really hope this goes lighter. I should have went with the lighter one, and I don't know why I went with this slightly darker one. I think if you're buying foundations online and you're not too sure what shade to go for, I would always recommend going for the lighter of the options, just in case, because some foundations can oxidize and go darker the longer you've got it on. And I feel like I've made a terrible mistake here. This is quite dark, but right, I'm going to use the brush to start blending out. Okay, so it does blend out really well. So far, so good. And I'm just using kind of patting motions with the brush because I don't want to get like streaks. Okay, so the coverage I find so far to be quite light, but we'll see. So for this little section here, I'm going to use my sponge. Okay, so it does blend out better with the brush, I have to say. I mean, it still blends out quite nicely with the sponge, but I do feel like it blends out just a little bit better with... blends out a bit quicker actually, I'll say. I think with the brush. I feel like maybe I've not put enough on, but we'll see. At least it's blendable. I'm just going to take the foundation and put it on my concealer brush that I use to see what it's like when carving out the top part of my brows, because I feel like even if I don't need to carve out the top part of my brows, when I put foundation on, there always gets this like patch above my brow where there's like no foundation. So I kind of do this anyway just to make sure that the foundation goes in that area. So let's just see. Okay, so it's actually going on pretty well, considering not a lot is going, well, it looks like not a lot is going on my brush. Okay, so I think this is maybe light to medium to buildable, depending on how much you put on. So I think at the moment, I think I've got kind of like a, maybe you can see it a bit better now. Yeah, you can, the colour difference. This is a bit too dark, which I'm quite annoyed at. But hopefully I can lighten it with a bit of concealer, and hopefully it won't oxidize too much. And then I'm just gonna put a bit more on where I feel like I need a bit of extra coverage. So my chin, down my nose, because I didn't really put a lot on my nose, and kind of under my eyes a little bit. Okay, so yeah, now it's definitely buildable, because now like some of this stuff is like gone after I put a little bit more on, which is good. It's definitely got more coverage and you can build it up. And the brush actually isn't too bad. I wonder how the brush will be with a liquid foundation, because I feel like that's where I get my trouble from with brushes using like liquid products, is the fact I just get streaks. Like no matter how clean the brush is, I just get like streaks. Just making sure I get my wee nose creases in. So it does feel really lightweight. I do like this foundation. I am quite annoyed though about the colour, which is I think my own fault really. I should have gone for the lighter one. But yeah, so far so good. I'm actually really liking this. It's got and I don't know if that's the foundation or if it's just the fact that I've got my cream on underneath. I think it might be a bit of both, but it does have a dewy finish. More dewy than natural, I would say. Because I think with natural finishes or satin finishes, it's supposed to have like a slight shine. But as you can tell, my face is like super shiny, like what it was when I just had the moisturiser on. So I don't know if that's down to the foundation or if the fact that my moisturiser is just kind of shining through. But yeah, I'm a bit shiny. which I don't mind sometimes, but sometimes I don't like as much shine as this. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm liking it. I am a bit annoyed though about the colour, but I'm going to keep going on about that. So the concealer that I'm going to use is my Infallible Concealer by L'Oreal in Eggshell. So let's see how this fares. And I always blend out my concealer with a sponge, so I'll be using that today. So just put like a wee bit on, like I normally would. And then sometimes if I'm wanting like that really cutting edge look, or if I am wearing a foundation that's slightly too dark, I will kind of put a wee bit of concealer down here. But I'm going to hold off on that for just now because I kind of want to see how the rest of it goes. So just blend this out. Okay, so the concealer's blending nicely on top of the foundation. I hate it when you get foundations which things just can't go on top of it, like concealers and other creams and powders, because it just can't handle having something else on top of it and it just shifts and moves. It just doesn't stay on your face. But this concealer is blending nicely on top. It hasn't shifted the foundation or anything. It hasn't taken away the foundation as it's blending. It looks really good. I always find that with stick foundations, the nose is like the hardest to kind of put it on with, so I'm kind of happy that the concealer is going on top of it nicely to hide any imperfections with the blending that I had. So I'm actually really happy with how that's blended out. I'm just gonna move my mirror back a wee bit, and I'm gonna move back as well, because I often find that the closer I am to the mirror, the kind of the wrong colour it looks, and then I'll go back and then I'm like, oh, actually that looks alright, which is really weird. I don't know how that kind of works. Okay, so it doesn't actually look too bad, I think, with just a little bit of concealer on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put just a couple of little dots down there, just to kind of blend this out and kind of make it just a wee bit lighter. But I want it to be like natural. I don't want it to give me that harsh contour like I sometimes do. I just kind of want to lighten this area. Okay, so that looks really good actually. I'm really liking it. So now we just need to see how it kind of fares with powders on top. Like normal, I'm just using my Revolution translucent powder. But I don't use that pot. I use this like old NYX one that I've got because it's a bit better with the lid. It's got a bigger lid and it's got the extra sieve and stuff. So I just kind of prefer that. So I'm just using my brush. And I know that this is technically on the concealer, but I do kind of blend it down a wee bit. And sometimes I do powder my whole face, depending on what look I want to go for. Oh. And then a big fluffy brush. And I'll just do down here. So it doesn't look cakey with the powder on. It actually looks really nice, really smooth, really well blended out. So for contour, I'm using my usual NYX product. It's blending nicely on top. It is, and as you can see, I have put a wee bit too much on. So what I normally do is I normally just get my beauty blender and kind of pat this out, but actually with just that little bit of foundation on the brush also works quite well. Just to kind of help soften that and help with the blend a bit. Just like that. For blush, I'm going to use my Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter in Kitten. I love this highlighter, but it just annoys me that it's too dark, so I have to use it as a blush. Can't really use it as a highlighter on its own. I don't know if you can see here where I've put it compared to like here where there's nothing. But it is like a really nice highlight. Look at that. And then for highlight today, I'm going to go into my Jeffree Star Platinum Ice palette, and I'm just going to take this colour here called Ice Cold. It's this nice goldy colour. I'm going to take a little bit of that, as we don't need much due to using a highlighter for a blush. Okay, so I've just done the final touches of my makeup, i.e. mascara on my lower lashes and some lippy, and I've also just done my hair as well, just so I can get like a true idea of what it would look like if I were going out instead of having my hair up all scraggly. This is how I would look going out. So I wanted to see if the colour would be better, or, you know, if it would, I don't know. I just felt like getting myself sorted and fully ready would give me a true idea of what this would look like normally, this foundation would look like normally. And I have to say, I actually love this foundation. I love the coverage on me at the moment as it stands. I do like a medium but buildable coverage just in case I need it for certain areas. I do quite like a natural finish, but it really doesn't matter to me if a foundation is dewy or matte, because I can easily alter how the foundation looks to what I want for that day. If I want like a super matte look, or if I want a bit more shine, just stick more powder or more highlight on your face. So honestly, that doesn't really bother me in terms of the finish. In terms of the colour, it is a bit too dark, however it's not so dark where I won't actually be able to use this foundation. I was a bit worried that I would, because I hate buying foundations online when I can't like test them. It's always a massive risk because I'm so fair. You get a lot of companies that have their fair or light shades and yet they are really dark. And then you also get foundations that do oxidize. So obviously I'm concerned about this oxidizing. However, as it stands, this still for me is a wearable foundation, especially when I've got like my hair down and I've got like the rest of my makeup on. I can't really zoom you guys out too much, but due to like my background and whatnot, but hopefully on camera it doesn't actually look too bad. I actually think on camera it looks like pretty good, like pretty alright. Like I don't think you can really see much of a difference on camera. In real life as it stands, I can't really see a difference, but that's because I've got a slightly higher top on. If I bring my top down, and you can see like how light my chest is, because my chest is really light. If I'm wearing like quite a low top, then I think maybe, I don't know, I might still be able to get away with this foundation. I think maybe just have to like maybe bronze my chest or something. But yeah, I really like it. It blends really well. The products that I've used on top sit really well, blend really well on top of the foundation as well. So overall, I really like it. And I think this foundation is only $10. Let me check. So yeah, so this foundation is only $10. So I don't really know how much that works out with when you convert it and then add like shipping and taxes on top. But yeah, definitely worth it. So it doesn't actually say how long this foundation is supposed to last, So you get some foundations that say like all day wear or 12-hour wear or something like that. So I don't actually know with this foundation. If I can, and I'm not going to make any guarantees with this, but if I can, I will report back to you later on in the day just to see how it's getting on. However, I think that's quite an unfair test because all I'm literally going to be doing for the rest of the day is just being a couch potato. I'm just going to be honest. I've already done my workout for today. So for the rest of the day, I'm just probably going to be playing, I don't know, something or watching something on Netflix. So I'm not really going to be doing much. Where obviously if you were out at work throughout the day or you were going shopping, with all the elements from outside and kind of moving about and whatnot and the weather, that would affect the foundation as well. So I don't know, that test might have to be left for another day. But what do you guys think? Let me put my hair up a wee bit. Like, I don't think it's too bad. And yeah, I had to put like a little bit of concealer down here to kind of even it out. But I barely put any. Like, if you compare like down here where I put like a little bit to like under my eyes where I put a lot more. Like, it hardly, like, you can't really tell that I put anything down there, which is kind of what I wanted. So I'm actually like really pleased with this foundation. Like, I'm so happy that I got this foundation, and I'm actually really pleased with the brush as well. But we'll see how the brush fares when I go back to my liquid foundations, because that's where I tend to get a lot of issues. That's where I tend to get a lot of streaks. Like, even if I pat it on, I get like blotchiness and like streaks and stuff. So we'll see. And then I haven't used my blender brush today because I knew that I was going to do something with my eyes before coming on to do the foundation, so this video will be a lot shorter, and yet I'm rambling, so it probably will be long anyway. So next time I do a video, hopefully I'll get a chance to give this a bit of a review. From what I can feel, it's really soft, so I have a feeling that this is going to be an excellent blending brush. But yeah, I'm going to shut up now and let you get cracking on with your day. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.